This is a super short video about a screen that I built. Best considered a screen. I guess you could call it a fence. They're about 4 feet wide. They're along the driveway, and they're built with 4x4 posts and using 1x6 cedar as the grill work. And they go together something like this. And I can walk you through the procedure that I went through to both cut the wood and get them in the ground. So stay tuned. Simply took two 4x4 8 feet long, pressure treated, one 2x4 8 feet long, pressure treated, and five 1x6 cedar. The 1x6s, because that's a 5.5-inch board, I ripped to 3-inch pieces and 1-inch pieces, so out of each board you get a 3-inch slat and two 1-inch slats, and it uses almost every last bit of the wood. So I cut these down to 4 foot long each and then ripped them on the table saw. Again, I took a 3-inch piece off of each board, so I did that 10 times for the 5 boards that are cut in half. I got 10 3-inch boards cut to length. They're very close to length. And once I had ripped my 3-inch pieces, I took the remaining little bit more than 2 inches left of those boards and ripped them down to 1-inch widths. Again, I'm trying to use every last ounce of wood. And these are true 1x6s, I should say. They're not what you get mostly at Home Depot or Lowe's, where they're really only 5/8 of an inch thick. These are truly 3/4 of an inch thick. And I would highly recommend that so that they're not wavy or sagging under their own weight. Once I'd cut all those 3-inch pieces, I set the saw again to 1-inch and took the remaining pieces of wood from those 1x6s and ripped them into 1-inch strips. This little process, because my saw blade is about 1/8 of an inch wide or thick, you take 3 inches off the board, 2 cuts at 1/8 inch each is 1/4 of an inch, another 2 inches for the two 1-inch boards, and you're leaving a tiny little sliver of wood that is maybe 1/8 of an inch after that final saw cut. And so again, it was very good use of 1x6 cedar that unfortunately is not as inexpensive as it used to be, but makes for a good looking screen, and the wood is relatively rigid, and so I went for the full 3/4 inch 1x6s. Once I'd done that ripping, I was ready to cut them to final length because I wanted them to all be exactly the same length. And so after making a stop block, I put all the boards on my chop saw and got final lengths that were all equal, so that when they go on the screen, all the ends match up and look real good that way. So here's my finished pile of pieces: 10 3-inch pieces and 20 1-inch pieces from those 5 boards. I simply got my post hole digger, dug holes over 2 feet deep, because these posts were 8 feet tall and the screen is only right around 6 feet tall. And so I wanted them to be super rigid. I didn't want to have to use concrete. So if you go deep enough and pack the holes, I brace those boards so that they're dead straight left and right, front and back. The cross pieces hold them parallel to each other, and then I packed 3/4 minus in the hole around these posts and pounded it down with a stick and a sledgehammer to get those super firmly in the ground. Again, if you do all this pounding while the boards are braced, they stay put and you end up with a very secure panel. Here it is about halfway done. I use a little 3/4 inch cutoff as my spacer, so I can just put these boards in, put the first one in with a level, and then from then on, using the same spacer for every board, you get a nice parallel line. And here's the finished look of the 3 screens. Super simple project. It matches also other areas in my yard where I've used this same pattern. As usual, hope you've enjoyed this video. If so, please subscribe. And thanks again for watching.